name is Cindy Anarfo. I live in Peckham and I am the co-director of Peckham Palms. In the face of gentrification that is taking place in the community, we're a social interest landlord that specifically has the interests of black women, and it is to maintain black business in Peckham, an area that has been known for a predominantly strong black community for a long time. I think hairdressers are a vital place for campaigns like Macmillan Cancer.
My name is Kiwana and I am the owner of Hair by Lioness Studio. I've been located at the Palms from 2018. People like to come to a salon and feel welcome, comfortable, friendly staff. Like my client here is playing his game, enjoying his hair getting done, and he feels comfortable.
Our core function was to make sure that hairdressers in the area would be able to still have a place of business to work in, because black women do tend to congregate there. They are more than just hair salons, they are community spaces where a lot happens.
Hair salons are home from home because as a hairdresser, we kind of have this therapeutic vibe about us. When people come here, they do open up very easily.
A lot of black hairdressers and women in the community are already starting a conversation about cancer awareness within our own community. I would urge hairdressers to, get involved, get in contact with Macmillan so they can give credible signposts and information that we may not always have. So this is a fantastic way to help others understand what they can actually access in the country via Macmillan.
My name's Janet Clark and my role at Macmillan is engagement lead. When I first joined Macmillan in 2021, I did some research and I found that quite a number of African and Caribbean women under 45 years old were being diagnosed at stage 4 cancer, which was worrying data. So I decided to engage with hairdressers, and one of the insights was that a lot of the Caribbean and African women said that there wasn't enough resources that looked like them. 2 of the women from that focus group had connections to Hype Couture, and one of them gave me Shola's number.
Hi, my name's Shola. I'm an artistic director at Hype Couture and I've worked here for almost 26 years. For some people, coming to the hairdressers is more than just getting your hair done. We build relationships. I spend at least an hour and a half to 2 hours in someone's personal space, and we share laughs, cries, everything.
This is a safer space because of the relationship that you build with clients, especially your long-term clients. You've been doing them for years. You've seen people come pregnant and bringing their children, and now their children are grown. So you do build really strong bonds with your clients.
As a hairdresser, you've got to pick up on the vibe or the energy of your client. So you've got to kind of gauge where your client's at. It's a hard topic to open up and get out of your clients. You kind of aware that something's wrong. And then it's about how you deal with that client, how you speak to them.
The other day we had a lady that came in, she was breaking down in tears, and what took place was that Kim Johnson, who was looking after the client, took her to one side, had a conversation with her, sat her down, spoke to her, and was empathetic and understanding about the whole thing, found out what she wanted done, gave her that haircut that would help her to go and have her treatment. Having someone there that understood what she was going through and was able to deliver the service that she required, she left with higher spirits than when she came in.
I've always felt that I could connect with people. I have that kind of personality for people to be open. When we are having consultations with the client, you have to dig deep, you have to find out things in order for them to be happy. So sometimes with asking certain questions, things are brought up and then things come to the surface that they probably didn't even realise.
The ability that she has gained, Macmillan has helped to improve the team to take on these situations and the better understanding of how to look after those clients.
My vision for this project has always been, it has to be a national thing. It's not just about the black hairdressers, it's about all hairdressers.
I got diagnosed on August the 1st, and then about 3 days later, my older brother got diagnosed with prostate cancer. So we were all in the same cancer centre being treated for our different cancer journeys.
I knew straight away that I had breast cancer because when the door opened to my doctor, there was a Macmillan nurse instead of a normal nurse.
As a
Christian believer. I did a lot of praying at that time and just really dug into my faith in God. This was his plan for me and everything would work out to be okay. I just knew it was going to be one of the biggest fights of my life. That was my biggest fear, was that I would pass away, because I had a partner who I was with for 15 years who had passed away 6 years prior to a melanoma cancer. And then my biggest fear was telling my mum, because it meant that she would then know that 3 out of 5 of her children would have cancer.
When I was diagnosed, I was going to watch Arsenal with my kids, so I told them on the day that probably weren't the right thing. They were 26 at the time and they just looked at me and their jaws dropped. Their reaction wasn't the reaction I was expecting, and that kind of stopped me from telling other people because of how they reacted. But I think it's important to share information, to share the burden of having cancer, because it's a lonely journey.
The breast care nurses were amazing, but it was really overwhelming, as you can imagine. But I had all the information that I needed to take home with me, had her number that I could call at any point and they would call back. So I felt supported, and I must say that although I had a bad experience with that surgeon, I was able to advocate for myself and get a different surgeon. And everybody that I met, the oncology team, surgery team, chemo team, they were amazing.
My name's Ashley, I'm from Romford. When my mum first got diagnosed, I was 19. The only thing I did understand is that she had under a year to live. I remember asking the doctor after if I could speak to him, and then he said actually it's like maybe 3 months. I felt so anxious. I really didn't know what every day would bring. Throughout her diagnosis, especially when she went through chemo, it got to the point where I was carrying her to the toilet, to bed, to the sitting room so we could watch TV for an hour. So I think for me, a huge part of it was anxiety and probably just feeling alone.
Although cancer does not discriminate, healthcare services do. And that was, I still find that really hard to deal with. Many people from the Black community are dying, and dare I say, needlessly.
I feel like I had an end goal and it was tunnel vision. Everyone else seemed to want to do what I didn't want to do. They wanted to tick my mum's bucket list, or have you looked at your mum's will? Have you upped her morphine? Does she need to go to a hospice? These are things that I already have dealt with. What I wanted help with was, can you help us research? Can you help us see what's available? Can you help me find a carer that can come in the morning so I can do more work? For me, it was just trying to understand how we could elongate mother's life.
There are many other voices in the room that were having exactly the same issues and desperately needed a safe space to go to. And I say that with sadness.
As my mum got a lot better, I started to find all these avenues that were out there to support carers. It was great because then I was able to help my mum with her care journey, and then in that sense then help myself because it freed up some time. Through different places like Macmillan, I was able to just figure it out.
So as a result of some of the disparities that I encountered, some of the inequalities of treatment, my daughter and I founded From Me to You. It was a place where people could come and speak openly and transparently about some of the difficulties that they encountered.
I'm the Executive Director of Cancer Black Care. It's a charity that was established to work with Black and ethnic minority groups to ensure that people were getting access to the correct, appropriate treatment.
Along with my mum, we started off selling post-mastectomy lingerie and then a few pieces of swimwear, sportswear and sleepwear as well. Over the years, we've helped thousands of different women at different stages. The first time that I knew someone who had breast cancer was when I was 5 years old. It was my mum's best friend. And then when I was 16, my mum also had breast cancer. So I was really aware of the importance of checking yourself regularly.
My cousin recently died earlier this year of pancreatic cancer. She was diagnosed at stage 4 when she shouldn't have been. And one of the reasons why she was diagnosed so late is because she didn't know where to go and what to access.
I'm Fungi, I'm Macmillan lead cancer nurse here at George Eliot Hospital. For patients that have got worry, fear and anxiety, just like anybody else, there's a real focus on personalised care. And we do try to be as responsive as we can, doing holistic personalised care, making sure that those needs are identified and people have got within their care plans things that are essential in terms of accessing psychological support, in terms of social prescribing of whatever needs and cares that they have. What I would like to see is really busting the myths surrounding cancer. We know that people who talk about cancer with their families are more likely to know what the signs and symptoms are. They're more likely to seek help and advice earlier on. And what that means is that they will have a better outcome and a better chance of survival overall. So what we would like to see in the community is a higher awareness of what those signs and symptoms surrounding cancer look like. And once you're diagnosed and you're coming into the service, regardless of how you feel and what perceptions they are, the teams are here to support. They are here to engage and address what your personal needs are, what's really most important to you, what really matters. And that's what they're here for, to make sure that we're delivering that best practice of cancer care. You're being diagnosed early, you're having the best possible treatments, and you're having the best supportive and personalised care.
I've had personal experiences with cancer. My sister died 6 years ago from breast cancer, and most recently in May, my wife died. Cancer is there, and cancer is attacking a lot of black people, and I think that we need to have those discussions. At the end of the day, that's the only way that you know the different paths and different routes and who to go to and the things that can be accessed.
I was 41 at the time, don't have any children, and then I was told that I was at the cut-off point, so I couldn't actually get to freeze my eggs unless I wanted to do that privately. And with sort of the fear and not this all being very new, I just wanted to start treatment straight away. So I didn't really get to think about going down the freezing my eggs route. So now I'm 45 and I still have treatment because of the type of cancer that I have. I just think these campaigns are so important, because when I did get my first book, I didn't get any consultation, didn't get any sort of advice about how to manage my hair. I think these campaigns are fantastic for spreading more awareness. Examine yourself for early detection, because this, we know that it's getting a lot younger, especially in our black communities.
I want to raise awareness, dispel all of those myths and taboos about cancer, so men and women can go access the services, get treatment, and and get better. I'm a living proof of that. I think Macmillan and what Janet is doing is key. It's so important to raise awareness. Coming into establishments like the hairdressers, where a lot of black women come and talk and share, ensuring that the information is in the right place. So this is a great start, but we need to do this on a national scale. This needs to be in all of the hairdressers and all of the barbers and all other environments.
Black women, we go to hairdressers, and where do we talk? We talk within our hairdressers. It's a no-brainer. I applaud the initiative. I applaud Macmillan for being brave enough to look at what needs to be done, and and taking the first steps to challenge that. We're all the authors of our own bodies and stories, and you know your body better than anybody else. So if something doesn't feel right, and you're told no, challenge it. I got called on my journey very many times aggressive. There is nothing aggressive about wanting to live. We have to ask the uncomfortable questions, because our lives depend on it.
Your hairdresser is someone that probably knows a lot of your secrets, someone that you have probably for a lot of your adult life. My hairdresser I've had as a hairdresser since I was 18. She's the person that has done my son's first haircut. That relationship with your hairdresser is really important. Black women as a community come together. It's a place that we chat, just like barber shops are for men. And so having the information in hairdressers, even if it's just one person notices, that's going to make a difference in somebody's life. So I think it's going to be a real game changer for our community.